Hi, Vanessa. Very nice talking to you today.
Hi, Scott. You too.
Uh, how you holding up? Let's start with that.
I mean, just about. We're in London, so the lockdown's obviously just been announced, but we've been here before and we know the drill and we're all in it together everywhere. Someone was just here and talking about Brazil, where she is, and just saying they're in the same position. So there's
Yeah,
something weirdly uniting about it, I guess.
it's true. I mean, I'm in Los Angeles, so we know the deal too. I think you're an incredible actress who has accomplished so much in 10 years. I want to begin though for this film. What was it like to premiere it at the Venice Film Festival, but also to go there with not just one film, but also the world to come as well?
It was the most surreal experience, Scott, honestly, because really in the weeks leading up to it, I think all of us were just couldn't believe that it would actually go ahead.
Hmm.
And even the plane over, we were still sort of bracing ourselves. We're like, is this real? Because the idea of a physical edition of a film festival was just kind of mind blowing. And in a way, it kind of made the whole experience even more magical because every minute, I just didn't take a second of it for granted. And sitting down, everyone with face masks on, watching a movie that has so much love in it and has people have put so much into and really care about was and knowing how unusual it was to be actually watching it with other people was amazing. And I love them both equally. I kind of shot them back to back. They have the same editor, David Yasko, in common, as well as a hair and makeup designer, and so they were kind of oddly sister productions. Plus both of them were about losing a child and how you find your way after that. And so the whole thing was just unbelievably special from start to finish.
I'm gonna be honest. I can't believe it happened either.
I know,
Um,
especially
so
now. Like it couldn't happen now. It's just, it was a miracle. It was a little miracle.
yeah, absolutely. Um, I'm sure you're sick and tired at this point. I know you've been talking about this scene in the beginning of this movie that I think like you can't help but be like, holy freaking shit, how did you do this? Um, was your background in theater a big player in how you were able to pull that scene off?
Yeah, totally, actually. And I think when I knew that we were going to aim to do it as an unbroken take, and we had 2 days at the beginning of the shoot to do it, and we probably get about 6 takes in or so. Um, there was actually a sense of relief because what worried me more was the idea of doing the morning on the first bit of the labor and then going off to lunch and then coming back and having to pick up, you know, in the middle of the most intense, painful experience of someone's life. And then, the next day coming back and doing a different bit. And actually the idea of just being able to just do it, like in a play, when you get on stage, you really don't have any choice. You have to just keep going no matter what happens. And I think I was so lucky that I had that background so that I know the feeling of not panicking if you're in the middle of something and something's got a bit weird or someone's, and most of the lines were improvised too. So we were all just in it together, really playing our parts, like hoping not to drop the ball and supporting each other. And it was a magical experience, and it really was the best one of my filming career for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still in awe of how you were able to pull it off, and not just that, but also as an actress, kind of going through the stages of grief on screen as this character, Martha. I thought that was also incredible. Can you talk a little bit about what that process was like for you?
Yeah, I think when I sort of started approaching it, I thought, oh my God, this is something that I've experienced profound grief in my life, but I haven't experienced this. And I thought then I knew that I had to speak to women that had gone through it. And so many things came up. One of them being, I couldn't believe how many women in my life that had been through it that hadn't been able to speak about it or didn't feel like they could share it. Society in general finds it so uncomfortable to talk about. So it just felt so important to be adding to that conversation, and then sitting with them and really knowing that my main job was to understand as deeply as possible what it felt like to go through that day by day, to have your reality completely shattered and be totally alone actually in that loss while the world is carrying on, and you somehow have to get through day by day, and it changed me so much spending time with them and and hearing their courage and their resilience and how they coped really. And it taught me a lot about grief generally. And I know everyone's had a really tough year, and there's been so much collective loss and collective grieving. And it feels, I hope that the movie in a way speaks to anyone who's gone through something so difficult and just day by day managed to get through it, you know, and survive it. And that in itself is um, a really brave thing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, it's been a very difficult year for a lot of people, and I think this is the reason why this film resonated with so many people. Because yes, maybe not everyone's going through what's going on in this movie, but I think they can resonate with the character. They can understand where
Mm.
she's coming from and how they can apply that to their own lives.
But
So,
also, like grief is so difficult, you know, and there's no prescription for how to get through it. And you know, someone said to me recently after his dad died, he didn't smile for like a year. And so everyone's experience is different in a way, you know. And it was a real honor to tell someone's story who finds it very hard to smile after something like that happening. And how does she find the light again, you know?
well, thank you very much for telling me the wrap, but it was a pleasure talking to you.
You
Wish you
too.
nothing but success throughout award season.
Thank you.